Tzu Chi volunteers deliver instant food packets in place of hot pot gatherings. 3 siblings from Taoyuan spread kindness by saving money in coin banks to help other children in need. Welcome to That Headlines. I'm Jenny Lee. Thank you for joining us. Due to the pandemic, Tzu Chi's year-end hot pot gathering was canceled this year. The volunteers went to care recipients' homes and gave thoughtful gifts, including instant food packets that can be cooked quickly with hot water. Take a look.
Since the pandemic is still ongoing, there couldn't be a year-end hot pot gathering as a bag of goods was presented.
Actually, in the past years, we don't have this bag. We also don't have the mushroom or fermented vegetable hot pot included. But because Master Zheng Yan is caring, she invites care recipients back every year to eat together. This year, we're unable to do that due to the pandemic, and under Master Zheng Yan's instructions, we prepare hot food for care recipients.
In replacement for the normal gathering, the mushroom and fermented vegetables hot pot was given to care recipients. Furthermore, wisdom and blessing porridge, jingse instant noodles, and grain flour are within the same bag given to care recipients.
It's hard for people with suffering to come out, and easier for people with ability to walk in. Therefore, with the opportunity, we must help others.
Every month, volunteers meet up with care recipient Mr. Hu at the breakfast store or park as the given hot congee warms his heart.
Although I'm no relative to Master Zheng Yan, she still takes care of me, and I'm truly grateful for it. It's hard for me to utter words of thankfulness, so I will hope for Master Zheng Yan's health and good luck.
Every word spoken sincerely to care recipients brings warmth during the cold.
20 years ago, Deng Meilian, an immigrant from Malaysia in New York, suffered from the double trauma of breast cancer and car accident. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers reached out to her when she was desperate. Now she dedicates herself to volunteer work to reciprocate Tzu Chi's assistance.
阿弥陀佛，回向给一切大众，十方法界众生，有病有困难的人。
Deng Meilian has been making good vows for more than 10 years. She has kept the first plastic coin bank she used.
When Tzu Chi started fundraising, they gave us a sticker. I used this to contain savings. It has been about 20 years.
Deng has migrated to the United States from Malaysia in the year 2000. Then several years later, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and went through a car accident. She has no relatives, legal status, nor medical insurance. Fortunately, Tzu Chi has reached out to her when she needed help for more than 10 years.
I feel deeply touched. They helped me pay rent and gave me supplies, helping me get through the tough times. Without the master, I would not be standing here today.
如果没有商人，今天都没有我这个人站在这边了。
Tzu Chi volunteers have visited Deng before the Lunar New Year to deliver supplies and care. They also want to thank her for supporting Tzu Chi.
后来呢，他身体好了。
Later, she recovered and resumed work. She became a dedicated volunteer. When some Tzu Chi sisters returned to Taiwan, she would help them to collect donations.
去收那个善款，希望你今年那个2021年呢更好。
Tzu Chi volunteers mindfully help and care about people. I tell people about this and they believe me.
他们很相信我。
Now, Deng has Buddhist faith and companionship of Tzu Chi volunteers. Although life is difficult due to the pandemic, she volunteers with Tzu Chi whenever she has time.
She has been through a difficult time, so she hopes that people in need can receive help. It is that simple. She harbors gratitude and reciprocates to this help.
Deng Meilian, who has had a rough life, has realized the importance of good health. She now cherishes every opportunity to give of herself.
As the pandemic continues in the Philippines, many locals are unable to find jobs and life has been difficult. Recently, Tzu Chi Philippines chapter held an aid distribution helping impoverished residents from 2 barangays. Here's more.
The local residents have brought their distribution vouchers from Tzu Chi. The distribution was held at the Philippines Tzu Chi grounds, as disadvantaged villagers from 2 barangays head over to collect 20 kilograms of rice.
Due to the pandemic, I've lost my job. Tzu Chi has provided much assistance because during this period we have nothing.
Most of the aid recipients are elderly seniors. Furthermore, we also distributed the extra vouchers to other impoverished residents.
For Naneth Magno, her husband is overseas and jobless. The whole family relies on her cleaning the streets for support. She also needs to take care of her daughter and her sick mother. Life has been very difficult, but with the rice provided by Tzu Chi, she's finally able to have a sigh of relief.
When we donate into the Bamboo Coin Bank, we're actually thanking all the help we have received from others. No matter how much help I can offer, as long as I am able to help, I feel blessed.
As she and her daughter are cherishing their blessings, they're hoping that this love they receive can be passed on to others in need.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers have come to Chenjingliao in Daling, Jiayi to help care recipients renovate houses that are in disrepair. They hope every family can have a safe living environment before the Lunar New Year.
Volunteers have climbed up the roof to remove the old roof tiles. They hope to provide a safe living environment for Mr. He, who has mobility issues and is bedridden mother.
We help him renovate the house, including painting, repairing the ceiling and bathroom, hoping to give him a beautiful home.
The wind and rain have come into the kitchen. I feel deeply touched. I do not know them, but they harbor love and help me renovate the house.
The volunteers have also repaired the wall restaurant and got rid of the termites. Their effort has gradually opened up Mr. He's closed mind.
We have been accompanying him that he can come out now. He has changed a lot. We encourage him to come out and enjoy the sunshine.
Because he was living in an unsafe environment, we helped him renovate the place from the basic structure. In addition, we improved the leaking places.
More than 30 Tzu Chi volunteers have accompanied care recipients for more than a year. They have also renovated the house so that the place can be bright and warm.
In the northern district of Tainan, a solitary elder passed away due to illness, but the apartment he rented was messy and grimy. Tzu Chi volunteers cared for him throughout his lifetime, accompanying him to the end of his life, and finally even helped him clean up his rented house.
Along the path to the room, almost each step is filled with rubbish. Tzu Chi volunteers come to help clean. Yet inside this small room, many things are scattered under the table and on the bed. The furniture and garbage are cleared out one by one, but the most troublesome thing are the stains all over the floor.
There were all lumps. When I rubbed them with a scraper, they turned out to be crusted feces. I really don't know how the elder lived like this.
It turned out that this room was previously occupied by an solitary elder. Volunteers cared for him for a long time until he was hospitalized and died of illness.
After he was sent to the hospital for more than a month, my heart went out to him. I called on volunteers to help him clean up the house after he passed away, hoping to return a clean house to the house owner.
In order not to let the elder have any regrets and concerns, volunteers help clean up his house. After several times brushing and washing, the floor is finally clean. The house owner is very happy when seeing it.
I am very touched because of Tzu Chi volunteers' help. The elder can have a good ending to his life.
The house owner offered free rent for 3 months to the elder. Now, volunteers help her to resume the room back to its original cleanliness. Her kind thoughts has led to this good reward.
In Hualien, before the Lunar New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers have delivered supplies that come with their best wishes for care recipients. Volunteers came to visit Mr. Zhang, who lives on his own, and helped him to clean his house.
Instant noodles, 5 gram powder, and blankets are the gifts prepared by Tzu Chi volunteers for care recipients. There is a small container house under the tree. The house is full of rubbish. This is the place where senior Zhang lives alone. Volunteers cannot bear to see him live in such an environment, so they have come to help him clean up the place.
I endure the pain. It hurts to do it, and it still hurts to not do it.
Volunteers not only clean up the garbage, but also clean up the furniture and beds in senior's house.
Probably a dozen bags of objects were cleared out. What's great is that Mr. Zhang saw us help him this way, and he did the sorting himself. He had learned to let go of the things he was reluctant to throw away and make his environment cleaner.
After an afternoon of cleaning, the container house has a brand new look. Volunteers deliver the best wishes so that Mr. Zhang can enjoy the new year with joy.
Thank you all. Thank you, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Bade District, Taoyuan, went to care recipient families to distribute New Year blessings, but got donations in return. In one of the families, the children willingly saved money for donation after they had learned the schooling challenges of Syrian children. Here's a story of their generosity.
好，姐姐先发愿，你先讲。疫情赶快结束。还好心情。我要帮助别人，希望大家平平。
That day, it was the elder sister who went to receive the scholarship, and we all went there. There was the video, Love in Syria. They watched and learned that there were many people who needed help, so they said they wanted to help the disadvantaged children.
Growing up in a Catholic family, the 3 siblings understand what is meant by Tzu Chi's great love, and they also want to help the Syrian and Muslim children.
For example, if the elder sister has good exam results, I will reward her with some money. Or when the kids help massage me or do housework, I will give them money. But as they are still young, they want to buy things. They will just spend a little to buy sweets, and for the rest, I will save it.
Within 2 months, just putting 5 or 10 NT dollars in, the 3 bamboo tubes have kept more than 2,000 NT dollars.
感恩你啊！哪有？再给你一个，来，谢谢你啊！感恩你。 来，弟弟，你好棒哦！你才幼稚园呢。
I had a car accident, and then my husband had an affair. Tzu Chi's sisters came to our home to encourage and comfort us. After receiving Tzu Chi's help, I began to have a heart of gratitude.
We have to know that when others are suffering, we should help them.
Before Lunar New Year, volunteers especially came to give blessings and also received donation of love.
In Xiamen, China, Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Mingzhu devotes herself in doing recycling. A car accident made her realize the true meaning of life, and when she recovered, she has dedicated herself in doing recycling in her community.
Although she's small sized, she's very agile with her hands and feet. It is as if she's still in her youth. She's collecting the waste paper boxes that has been accumulating for the past week. She ties them firmly with ease and can still even chat with others.
For these cardboard boxes, if they're tied properly, they can be sold at a better price.
13 years ago, Wang Mingzhu became part of the Tzu Chi family. She made a vow and was determined on the path of doing recycling.
The master said she'll teach the Dharma until her very last breath, so I too would like to do recycling until my very last breath. I'll continue doing until the day I'm unable to do so. It's impossible to tell me not to do it now. They always joke about me that one day if I pass, I must bring all these cardboard boxes with me to the Western Pure Land. I said, okay, I'll take them over there.
She's able to say these words of wisdom because she has realized life's purpose.
Back then, I met with a car accident. From the day onwards, I said that I need to be determined on the path of recycling.
Along her path of doing recycling, she's accompanied by her husband and also has the support from the community. Whenever she receives a call, she immediately heads out to collect recyclables.
We all admire her a lot and also has a lot of respect for her. She does not head out to pick the recyclables and fight over with other collectors. She just heads over to a few of our houses to collect. We have a few houses here who are also recycling volunteers, and they keep the items at their homes. She'll then come and bring them to Tzu Chi's recycling station.
Even if I kneel down to do it, I never feel that it's a tough job. I'll put a cardboard below and kneel down to tear apart the other cardboard boxes. I'll then tighten up neatly afterwards. If you want me to simply tighten up, I can't do it because I have my own standards and requirements.
As she pushes a cart full of recyclable materials, she's just like a pearl, emitting a bright light, showing us happiness at its simplest form.
In Zhanghua, recycling volunteer Xie Zhenying has been doing recycling for over 10 years. No matter rain or shine, she always heads out barefooted to collect recyclables. She lives frugally but donates all of the earnings from selling recyclables to charity.
At 5 in the morning, Xie Zhenying already heads out from her house. On the day of the filming, the temperature dropped because of the cold wave. However, Xie Zhenying still heads out barefooted, cycling a tricycle to collect recyclables.
When I was young, a pair of wooden slippers cost $5 NT, and if it's spoiled, I had to buy a new one.
The recyclable items piled on the tricycle are higher than her. As she sorts the recyclables in front of her house, her neighbors also come and help.
Back then, when I was working in the factory, people would tell me that when I retire, I can head over to Tzu Chi to do recycling work. In the end, God has sent a volunteer right at my doorstep.
She has been doing recycling for over 10 years now, and it has become her daily routine.
Every month, she would collect a large bag of recyclables. The amount of recyclables she collects all by herself can be sold around 2,000 to 3,000 new Taiwan dollar. Everyone here looks up to her.
Although she's not very wealthy, all the money collected from selling recyclables are donated to charity.
I plant my own vegetables. I also head over to the school to take their leftover meals, so I do not need to spend money on buying vegetables.
In her early days, she suffered domestic violence by her husband, and life has been tough. Later on, her husband had a stroke, but she takes care of him wholeheartedly without any complaints. After all the ups and downs, they cherish the simple life they have right now.
I'll do the work until my very last breath. I'll also dedicate the rest of my life to charity works.
Taiwan has entered an aging society with more than 290,000 people in the country suffering from dementia, and more than 40,000 people suffer from Parkinson's disease. Physicians can only prescribe drugs to delay the course of the disease, but not cure. Researchers say a complete collection of brain tissue is essential in scientific research.
加油加油！高难度，这斜坡大概有45度这么斜。
Hiking this mountain trail isn't hard for 62-year-old Chen Tingguo, who seems to struggle when he's on flat ground.
Suffering from Parkinson's disease for so long has brought me many problems. I don't want other people in the future to have this disease. Children are a high-risk group for Parkinson's disease. I donate my brain like this for you to indirectly unlocking these complicated relationships in the brain. Children should be the beneficiaries.
Birth and death does not mean we can take it with us, as I want to let scientists use my brain, which means that we can still be alive in this world.
In Taiwan at present, people with rare neurological diseases and neurodegenerative diseases have a higher willingness to donate brains. But so far, we have not really had normal brains.
In fact, to do a good research, of course, in addition to the brain tissue of patients who have special illnesses, we also need to analyze the brain tissue of healthy people as part of a control group.
The brain bank requires not only the brains of patients and healthy people, but also brains of different ages and in various states of brain disease. For example, dementia requires brain donation from patients over 70 years of age and the brain of the general elderly for a cross-reference study. Cerebellar atrophy requires patients aged 30 to 40 in the brains of middle-aged and middle-aged people to compare with each other. Therefore, the concept of brain donation is similar to that of organ donations. People's age and cause of disease leads to classification and filing.
In foreign countries, if you want to ask them brain samples, this will usually come from relatively normal people.
The domestic trend of donating brains has not yet begun. It is even more difficult to obtain the brains of healthy people. Therefore, anatomy instructors generally donate to the brain bank.
In addition to being a general anatomy teacher, my father also pushed for the brain bank. He wanted to follow up with this for our next generation and the knowledge of the entire human body's neural system. It was his last wish.
Before his death, Director Xie had been a teacher for his entire life and was still a teacher after his death. He was the first director of medical school at National Taiwan University to donate his body. He also let his colleagues and students continue to study his brain.
His brain has been preserved in formaldehyde, and we can see the pathological anatomy of such preserved brains. All of these general anatomy teachers' brains will be kept if their family members agree.
Director Xie promoted humanities and medicine throughout his life. Before, when he was alive, he demolished the second building of the medical school and refurbished it to showcase his knowledge of brains.
My father is an internal physician, so the science of his brains was his most important project.
He passed on his love like this. He will eternally be our teacher. Dementia will be a big health challenge for Taiwan in the future, and Parkinson's disease is the same thing. If we have a group brain bank, we can try to prevent these diseases.
To uncover such diseases, one has to study the brain, but it is not easy to promote the concept of brain donation.
After taking out his brain and the body becomes cremated or buried, this person may be an incomplete person. I guess that such an issue may be the biggest difficulty in preventing more people from making brain donations.
Patients with brain disease have been tortured and have never escaped the shadow of death. In fact, they're at the front lines of this illness, and potentially their brain donations can unlock the clues for future generations.
The pandemic disrupted Tzu Chi's year-end hot pot gathering in many places. In Yuli, volunteers brought the hot pot to an 88-year-old care recipient's home. Here's how they celebrated. Thank you for watching. See you next time.